Welcome to Married to Movies. Industry insiders John Russell and Tracy Kring live and work happily in cinematrimony. They're sharing behind-the-scenes adventures of writing, producing, and appreciating films.
Good morning, babe.
Good morning, babe. How you doing?
Okay.
Very okay?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a cold.
Extraordinarily okay. Extremely average.
You're doing extremely average, or I am?
No, you are doing extremely average.
You know, I was thinking about this weird thought that came into my head.
Oh, geez.
Which is,
brace yourself, folks.
that, like, watching people get older, watching people age.
Yes.
Really what's happening is you're watching them rot and die.
Okay.
That's really what's going on. Like if it was an apple on a counter.
Okay.
You know, you'd be like,
be
it would be getting soft. It would be getting
apple
brown,
slowly,
crinkly.
like, desiccate into nothingness.
Yeah.
And that's what happens whenever you go to, like, an old folks home, it's like going to, like, one of those boxes at the store where everything is, like, almost rotten and almost ready to be thrown away.
Yeah, the 25-cent apples.
The 25-cent apples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can this become a phrase that we use? That motherfucker's a 25-cent apple.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, they do call them granny apples.
Ooh.
Granny Smith.
Watching people age is like just watching them die really slow.
That's a rather depressing thought. No wonder you're doing extremely okay.
Well, sometimes you think about stuff like that, you know? Mm-hmm. Have you noticed that we have reached the age in our aging that we no longer know if we've taken our pills?
Oh, God, that's right. I forgot to take my pills.
Why is that happening? No, but like we're having to tell each other,
I know.
I took my pill.
I'm taking it right now.
You know what happened
There's
to
evidence.
me? What happened to me the other day is I was sitting here. I was really excited. I was talking to you about something.
Right.
I was very distracted in conversation, let's say.
Right.
I reach over and instead of taking the 2 pills I'm supposed to take in the evening, I took my morning pills again. Like, what in the hell?
Right.
How old am I? I'm not that old yet. Like, this is a problem a person with Alzheimer's has.
No, I don't think that's true. Sometimes your life is so full that little things like, did I take my pills or did I poop, slip your mind.
I remember pooping every day, but I do not remember if I took my pills.
I try to put pooping out of my mind if I can.
I've got these little things now. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? I'm so old. What the hell?
Masters of Air, the new show.
Okay.
On Apple TV. It feels old. It feels old-fashioned.
The acting and stuff.
Yes. And the characters, they're like very movie star.
Yeah,
they're very,
like Bogart-y.
Yes, exactly. It's like...
Man of little words.
These half of the guys are like Bogart, and these half of the guys are like Jimmy Stewart. And everybody's heard that story of that Jimmy Stewart was having dreams of people falling out of the sky. And he did It's a Wonderful Life right after that. And so all of that like crazy Jimmy Stewart face that you get when he's completely losing it. Yeah, it's like him going through PTSD in front of us. I mean, it's my favorite film, but I'm sorry that Jimmy Stewart had to do that. But boy, this show is really giving you that falling out of the sky vibe.
Well, and what is acting other than exploiting your own personal pain? Well, it's got I guess the lead in it is the guy who did Elvis, the first round of Elvis.
Austin Butler, which is, what a great name. Good Lord. It doesn't feel like it's a real name, does it?
Austin Butler. I feel like he could have been a health guru. Like some kind of guy who like pumps iron.
My name is Austin Butler, and I'm here to
he's
get you going with your Pilates.
No, he's like, I'm Austin Butler, and this is how you mix protein shakes and a Vitamix.
He talks like Elvis. That's just...
Well, now he does.
Well, no. I mean, like, you hear him in this, and you hear him in interviews. Apparently... The guy actually talks like Elvis. That's his vibe.
I know him from the Shannara Chronicles on MTV.
Which is about Cologne, right?
What?
Shannara always sounds like it's a name of a cologne.
No. Oh, like Shalimar?
Yeah, something like that.
No.
Yeah.
Shannara Chronicles was like a fantasy.
Right.
And he was
It's like
elf.
YA.
Yeah, and there was like a lot of hooking up. Yeah, it's like Vampire Diaries, but like elfy fantasy.
Okay. And he was an elf.
Yeah, he was an elf.
He was like,
No,
Thank you.
he wasn't like.
he was like, thank you
No.
very much.
He wasn't like.
Come over here and sit on my toadstool.
No, he wasn't.
He
No.
wasn't like that. I don't know. Do elves sit on toadstools? Or no, that's more like fairies, right? Okay,
No,
whatever.
He didn't. No, he was super hot, and I was just like, holy crap, who is this really hot dude? And I thought he did a great job as Elvis.
And Barry Keoghan. Or Keoghan. Or
It's
however
Keegan.
you say it.
It's Keegan.
Yeah, Barry Keoghan. Who's amazing.
Yeah.
And actually...
He's kind of a lower tier character in this, though, right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's one of the top 3. You know, I would say he is the third level character in this. I kind of got the vibe that he did this sort of before Saltburn and maybe before Banshees of Inisherin. So it was kind of like...
I feel like it was in the middle.
It could have been. Yeah, it could have been. But I also saw him in... I looked up this movie by A24 called American Animals.
Right.
That I'd always
now,
heard
he is
about.
young in that.
He is very young in that. That also has Evan Peters of
American Horror
Horror Story fame. And boy, it was really, really good. It was an interesting film because it was sort of like part documentary, part live action, and it was like nonfiction and fiction mixed together.
About 2 really dumb criminals.
4 really dumb criminals. Okay. There were 4 of them.
I guess people who are dumb attract other dumb
Yeah,
people.
well, yeah, they kept saying, "Oh, we need another guy. Oh, we need another guy." And it was based on a true story. And what was cool was they would have the real guys, and then they would go to the Evan Peters and Barry Keoghan playing
The real
those
guys did not seem as stupid a criminal.
Yeah.
But
they were good. You know what was interesting was they were all really good-looking guys. And sometimes it's like Hollywood. They will have somebody, and it's like in real life they were not that good-looking.
No, the guys who were the real guys were more handsome than the guys who were the actors.
I mean, that's an arguable point.
But really, what they were was like whiny, privileged white boys
who went to Transylvania College.
That was weird.
That was weird. Maybe they were all vampires.
Why? Like they really had nothing in their life that was like suffering.
It was a total thrill.
Yeah,
that's all they were going after.
Yeah, and they spent 7 years in prison for it.
They took something that is like so commonplace while you do and commit the crime.
So they're trying to break into the library to steal really rare books.
The most valuable books in the world.
Including the Audubon book with all the original paintings.
All the original paintings, right.
All like $12 million.
Right. And this poor librarian, it hurts you the way that they're tying her up and she's crying and she's so scared. And they are doing real damage and they feel it. They feel the damage that they are doing. There is nothing cool about what they were doing. This is the anti-Ocean's 11.
The one guy was like, you know, I'm not going to do this unless you take care of tying up the librarian.
Right. And then he called him up and he had not tied up the librarian. So now he had to do it too.
He was always dropping the ball.
Yeah, it was
the guy might as well have stolen it by himself.
Yeah, it was
not a good friend.
Oh no. They were terrible thieves, and I really appreciated the fact that you take something that you've become so desensitized to and you make it real for people. And when you make it real, it sucks. And hurting people hurts you.
I'll say this about Masters of Air, though. It makes it real for people because it shows more procedurally what it's like to be in those situations. We've seen, like...
Yes.
How many movies have you seen with, like, people flying through the air and dropping bombs?
Memphis Belle, whatever. Yeah.
You know, and it's, like, about how cool the guys are and hanging out.
Right.
But this is, like, I really didn't get that bomber jackets. and like those flight uniform, like flight jumpsuits they
Right,
wear. I didn't get that.
Where it's like the sheepskin and the leather and the whole thing.
They're that way because it's -50 up there.
Exactly.
And they have no heat.
Purpose. No, and there was a scene.
The dude who's the gunner, the gunner in the belly.
Under the belly broke, and all of the air came in, and the guy put his hands and frostbite immediate.
Oh yeah, the dude touched a gun with his bare hands.
Yes.
He was like, we thought, did he get burned?
No,
it was frostbite.
Frostbite.
Like they stuck to the thing. No, and then there was the guy who was in the little bubble on the belly of the plane, and it got shot, and there was air getting in there.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Help! Can I get out now?" And he like had frostbite all over his body.
And they had to have them like masks on all the time because they needed oxygen.
But I didn't think about. I knew about like altitude and the air being thinner. Okay,
right.
We get that. I didn't really think about the cold.
Exactly.
And that really made it real.
Oh, dude.
And also the way that they focus on people who never get focused on, like the ground crew.
Exactly.
And the mechanics who like, okay, you land the plane, you got a bunch of freaking bullet holes in this thing and this dripping everything everywhere. And somebody has to go out there all night and fix that shit.
They got to get it back up. They got to get the thing back running.
Yeah, it's not like they just replace it with a new plane.
Right.
They're fixing that one.
Imagine if your car got into a crash.
Yeah, it's more like a race car.
Every day. Okay? And then somebody fixed up the car, and then it went back out and got into another crash, and they kept fixing it back up. I mean, how dependable would that car be after like a couple of weeks?
No, I agree. I definitely felt like it was deteriorating.
Oh, absolutely, it's deteriorating. Of course it is. So yes, Masters of Air. That was cool. I brought up the fact that people look better usually in films than they do in real life. Griselda.
Oh, Griselda.
Griselda. They were nice to her.
Yeah. With Sophia. What's her name?
Sofia Vergara.
Yeah, Sofia Vergara.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
I am disturbed by the fact that you have found a hero in the cocaine godmother, drug kingpin of Griselda Blanco.
There's something like I really like, when it's just like high testosterone, let's say, like high octane, something happens and it's just like, you're really happy that somebody got their comeuppance, right?
Right.
And somebody's being a badass or something. Like, I'm just like, yeah. But when it's a woman doing it, like, I'm just like, oh, yeah, hell yeah. Best ever.
Even if she's awful, she ends up being a crack addict. She ends up killing children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
you heard it here, folks.
I regret that it's real. I regret that those things happen.
Right.
But it doesn't take away from the fact that she's a massive badass.
She was a badass.
And like the thing is, and I'm sure that's what made her very, very famous at the time. Women aren't seen to be willing to do the same horrible things that men do.
Right. Well, that's part of the point of the film is that no one believes that there is a female narco, except for this one female police officer.
I love the juxtaposition of Griselda being badass and trying to break into the drug cartel world, right? And the way she's going about it.
Right.
And then the female cop and the way she's trying to bust into like the police world.
Right.
And the way she's getting treated and going about it. And that they're going to coincide at some point. There's just but
Griselda won't let herself be, hey, go get us coffee. Griselda ain't going to, do not be fucking with Griselda.
No, she would just have them killed.
Like chop your head off. Yeah.
No, and like at one point she's like she needs to kill somebody because they're threatening her.
Right.
And the guy's like, I'll just kill him for you. And she's like, no, they have to know I killed him. They have to be scared of me. She's really trying to bust into a world that does not want anything to do with her.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of women out there are
Trying to
doing
break
that.
through that cocaine ceiling.
I mean, women in every genre of, are attempting to do that.
Right.
Bust into boy worlds.
Right.
And they're all heroes. So I highly
But
recommend
the
it.
real life Griselda does not look like Sofia Vergara.
Maybe way young.
Way young.
Maybe way young,
Yeah.
but as she aged, like she kind of looked like a little grandma, like
it's
kinda-
interesting. She started out
kind
as
of
a prostitute.
kind of plump. Yeah.
She started out as a prostitute, and I felt like she sort of garnered a lot of knowledge.
No, I feel like she knew how to.
Manipulate men.
She did.
She did.
And she knew how to work it in bed too, because she was getting some hot guys interested in her. I think it's 6 episodes.
Yes.
And at the end of the 5th episode, we were still in Miami.
Right.
And now she was addicted to like meth or whatever and
Crack.
crack. I don't know the difference, really. Sorry.
I'm sure there are people out there, our fans, who know the difference between meth and crack, and they can
Okay, well, stop doing that.
Yes, don't do that, folks.
Don't do drugs.
That's right.
Just
drugs
say
are bad.
no. There's like a whole lifetime that's happening in California, and the whole time I'm like, when are we getting to California? When are we getting to California? I felt like it was like, oh, she's in a downfall. She's a drug addict. And then all of a sudden, like, let's do some shit just so we can send her to jail.
Right.
Then all her kids die. It's like, in one episode.
Yeah, there definitely should have been like more episodes.
They had such a great thing going.
There could have been a whole other season. I mean,
There really
as far as
could, but
yeah.
maybe because of this legal thing, maybe that's why they crammed it in. The living son, Michael Corleone, is suing her. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's suing Netflix too.
Right.
He says as early as 2009 that he started doing interviews
Oh shit.
with producers.
That's right. You know who
Like
the real
telling his story.
You know who the real gangsters are, folks?
Producers.
Streamers.
Streaming
That's right.
platforms, Netflix. That's the real gangsta.
Yeah.
They were doing interviews with the hopes of doing like a book,
Right.
taking that and turning it into a series or a film. And
Let me guess. Some of that information made its way into.
he claims they pitched it to Netflix.
Of course.
Netflix said they were interested, but they were
Oh.
not interested in working with him.
With Michael Corleone Blanco.
Right.
Yes.
The problem is though, it's like rights to your likeness.
Right.
And it is definitely, he is portrayed in the film.
Right.
And it's also that he claims that some of the situations that he gave interviews on were in the show.
That's what happens, folks. That's what happens.
So-
Get yourself a good lawyer.
But he claims that was in like 2016.
Right.
That they pitched it to Netflix. And Sophia is saying that in 2015, she met with the showrunner of Narcos.
Of course. Yeah.
And it is a showrunner from Narcos,
Right.
Who's like the creator.
Right.
And I noticed some nods, like the Pablo Escobar quote at the
Right.
beginning.
Right.
I noticed some nods to Narcos.
Sure, absolutely. Well, things, definitely feed off of each other. But yeah, it was very cool. We pretty much binged it straight through. I got in trouble with you. Okay. You're my gangsta, babe.
Oh, okay.
For free McDonald's.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Okay, so folks, my birthday is coming up. Okay? My birthday is February 10th. My birthday is coming up. And I got an ad that came in. Hey,
It's your birthday.
It's your
Here's some
birthday.
free McDonald's. Just fill out this form.
Just sign up and we're going to send you. And it was like a package of free McDonald's. That's what it said.
Why
there
would
was
they
gonna be,
send you a package
They
of
were going to
McDonald's?
send me. There was going to be a box and there was going to be
But
McDonald's
how old
in
is
it.
this McDonald's when you get it?
I know. I mean, is that even a thing? Do people do that?
McDonald's does deliver in certain areas, though.
Well, that's true. Right. So I signed up.
And immediately your phone starts ringing.
It will happen.
Immediately.
Immediately.
And so you come home and
Yeah.
you're like, I did this thing and now my phone won't stop ringing.
Every time the phone rang, you would give me a like, motherfucker. Oh,
Well, it happened like 2 times. And you were like, take me off my list. Take me off of your list.
Right.
And then I was like, give me the fucking phone.
Right. And you took the phone.
And they called, and they
Yes.
were like, hey, I need to speak with John Crane.
That's right.
And I said,
I understand that you're
he
interested.
died.
He did.
And if he didn't die, I'm about to motherfucking kill this guy.
He did.
Call
I
the
never
cops.
heard of him. He did.
I'm just like,
She kept saying every time anybody called, like, that I was dead.
well, I would change up the story a little bit. Like one time it was like, I have his number now, but from what I understand, he's passed.
I know. I don't want to hurt your feelings.
No,
I'm
and then
sorry,
like one time
but
it's like,
right now we're in the middle of the
I really
funeral.
don't appreciate getting these calls because he died several years ago, and it's very painful that it keeps getting brought up. Take me off of your list.
I have a new number, but I'm pretty sure that he fell into a thresher. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, fuck. But I'll tell you what, I told 3 or 4 of them that you were dead,
Yes.
and the call stopped.
This is true.
So whatever list they're all working
Everybody
from.
remember that. If you're dead, they can't call you.
Yeah. It did work. It did work.
I'm just wondering, am I going to get my free McDonald's?
No, you're not. There's no such thing.
There's no such thing.
You can go on
as
the
free
McDonald's
McDonald's. I believe Socrates said that.
No, like you can go on the McDonald's app and you might get a buy one,
Wait.
get one free.
And didn't they say something like there's no such thing as a free lunch?
Yeah, who said that?
I don't know who said that, but apparently they were right because McDonald's ain't free, motherfucker.
Oh, Lord. I'm just like, anything that you think you might put your information into, don't.
Yeah, that was stupid. I am ashamed.
No, I mean, you learned your lesson.
I
Just
did.
don't give your information to anybody.
Exactly, even for free McDonald's.
Right now, in this first part of the year, right?
Right,
Nothing's really going on
right.
with film.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell that by the podcast. We're
And
only watching movies right
It's
now.
dead.
It's dead.
Yeah.
I think now, is a perfect time while things are slow to start a bunch of shit up.
Right.
Like any of the ideas that have been floating around in your head for the rest of the year.
Well, that's what we did last year, is starting this podcast.
Yeah. That's what we did. We started it this time last year.
Exactly.
So start something.
Mm-hmm.
Start multiple things. Start 5 or 6 things.
Right.
Whatever it is. Just like write 5 pages on a script, or hook up with your buddy who's also not doing anything and talk about making a short film, or like whatever it is, get busy.
Right.
Because the things that you're going to start now are the things that are going to sustain you through the rest of the year.
Or they will tell you, oh, that thing was not sustainable. That's something that, okay, I tried it. I didn't get any sort of indication that this was what I should keep doing. Now I'm going to go ahead and, try something else.
One of those ideas that we started like picking up is a script. You wrote the first several episodes. 2 episodes?
Yeah, first 2 episodes, yeah.
You really wanted me to read it, so
Right.
you knew if you were
Yeah,
getting
if I was
vibe.
on the right track. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and before I started to write episode 3 and episode 4, I wanted you to give me your, 2 cents on it.
But I feel like sometimes you might get critiques back from people, and they are really brutal.
Sure.
And they are just really, you're looking at it, and while they may have validity, they cut in a way that they didn't have to. And sometimes you receive critiques from people where they just really have a different vision
Yes.
for your vision.
Yes, it's like they have a movie. They read your script and they're like, oh,
These
you
are
know
the
what? This could
most
be this
interesting
movie
things.
instead
Right.
of the movie that I'm
Right.
reading.
And sometimes you might get feedback like, well, this one idea could be a whole movie.
Yeah, and when that happens, I'm like, well, that's awesome, but that's not the movie we're making.
Well, yeah, and you really have to think about like, what is the movie that I'm setting out to make here?
Right.
What's the feedback I'm getting? And even if they're saying like, oh, you should just take this element and this element and this element
Right.
and turn it into an action film or whatever, like that's still valid because those are the 3 things that stood out most to them.
Right.
So maybe everything that surrounds that is a less good idea. Mm-hmm. And you really have to think, well, why are those things standing out?
Right.
how am I not setting them up to flow in the story better?
But to your credit, I felt like what you had said about the web series we're going to be doing was extraordinarily valuable. You saw what I was trying to do, and you set me on a path to do it better, and you did it in a very constructive way.
Oh, thanks.
That's right.
I actually was like, don't be a bitch. Just like, be honest.
That's right.
Boil
all the 10 Commandments down to
just
don't be a bitch.
Don't be a bitch.
That's Christianity, folks.
Yeah.
Don't be a little bitch.
Yeah, don't. But one of the things I told you is I wasn't getting the sense that for the characters that you were really seeing them.
Right.
And I don't.
I was trying to find them.
Right.
Right.
So I was like, well, if you were casting it,
right,
who is this character?
Right.
And you said Pedro Pascal.
I'm
like, okay, well, imagine Pedro Pascal, imagine the room he's in, imagine who he's talking to and cast them.
Right.
And I mean, this doesn't have to be rigid. It may be a combination of people.
Sure.
Like to me, it was Ryan Gosling. To you, it was Pedro Pascal.
That sounds like the most beautiful man ever.
Right.
That combination.
But the way that they would do it and the way that I could imagine them delivering it will help me find a voice. I need an image of who this person is in my head.
Right.
And I often have just mood boards for my script.
Right.
I'll have pictures that I can flip through or songs I can listen to,
Well, that's what I love about what we're doing with Origian is seeing the visuals. Mm-hmm. Even though, there are just a few of them, but it almost is giving me that graphic novel quality. In some of the original books that Charles Dickens did, he would have one picture in every 15 pages or something like that.
It is very illustrative, yeah.
Yes, illustrative.
If you don't know, you can actually go onto YouTube on our channel, Married to Movies.
Yes.
And you can watch the editing session.
Yes. Yeah, if that interests you, you can see sort of how we are reading through it and critiquing it and changing it around a little bit. And sometimes it's a lot and sometimes it's hardly any.
In the podcast, of course, we're putting in us reading the script once it's been edited, but you can watch the editing process on YouTube. Interior, Ian's red car day. The all red interior is like a limo with seats facing each other, but it only has the one occupant reclining in opulent spaciousness. We are in the realm of the enigmatic trillionaire Ian Solange. Ian is wearing jeans and moccasins with a loosely fitting short-sleeve shirt, which has his company's insignia imprinted almost imperceptibly on it. He wears tortoiseshell glasses with light purple lenses and an Origian ball cap. He's a modern master, the evolution of Wozniak, Jobs, Zuckerberg, and Musk. He clicks through media clips from all over the world.
BBC. It's called Project Ascension. And Origian's CEO, Ian Solange, believes it will save the world. The long-range space exploration project has recruited 20 more applicants to attempt first contact with an alien intelligence. The catch: you have to dedicate your life to the project.
Local news clip. At the young age of 10 years old, local resident Matthew Lee, MIT Think Scholar and Newbery medalist, is Project Ascension's newest recruit. Lee says he's eager for this next challenge.
Interview clip. Hi, I'm looking forward to being in space.
Local news clip. Tomorrow, we continue with our series spotlighting Originauts. On her 11th birthday, her gift to the world was the invention of a new type of kinetic pavement to battle climate crisis.
Solange clicks another one. This clip has Celia, his publicist, explaining Project Ascension. As you are all well aware, we've been receiving transmissions from points across the cosmos. But the most interesting part is that some of them are moving closer. This is unique since our universe is expanding away from us, from 150 billion light years to only 5 billion light years away in one case. If we do nothing at this rate, theoretically, we could make contact in several hundred years, but we know the planet doesn't have that long. We need to do our part and reach out to them. Meet halfway. A drowning man doesn't keep quiet.
Ian clicks another file. CNN commentator. I think it's an incredible act of selflessness. Other trillionaires are trying to out-yacht each other, and Solange seems to genuinely care about the planet.
Clicks another. Anchor. Origian is trying what no one else has ever considered. Single-manned missions to signals in deep space.
Click. Celia. Man has been reaching for the stars since he crawled out of the primordial ooze. We are an inspired people. If the future doesn't include us being an interplanetary species out amongst the galaxies, then I don't want to have any part of it.
But why children?
It's misleading to call them children. There will be no toddlers in space. This is a vigorous 6-year training program. Even with our advanced warp bubble technology, the maximum distance that we can traverse in a year is 10.4 light years. To give our originauts any chance to make contact with the signals, we need as much time as possible to reach them. Our young adults will get farther and be healthier for longer by departing before age 17. The earlier we start, the farther we can go.
Clicking another. Commentator. This is a fool's errand like Icarus. Solange is going to melt his wings.
Comedian. Here's a question I never thought to ask. How many candy bars do I have to buy to meet E.T.? Oh look, a golden ticket to oblivion.
Click. Origian is child trafficking and our republic is avoiding asking any questions.
One of the things that I really enjoy is when you're watching a movie and all of a sudden they're showing news clips. Now, this can be done really badly in movies.
Yes,
I'm
it
not
can.
going to lie.
Yes.
Where it looks really bad.
This is one of those cases you need money. Okay, you need the right money. You need the right look because everybody knows what a news clip looks like.
No, when I've seen it really work, it's like they've actually gone to a studio.
Right.
Like actually a news channel. Mm-hmm. Like even a local news channel.
Right.
And
it has to have the right graphics.
The right
it's got to have
visual,
the crawl.
yeah.
It's got to have everything.
Yeah, it's got to have everything. Like how much information you can get out. Mm-hmm. And I like feeling like we're viewing them viewing that.
Right.
And so I feel really behind the scenes.
Well, one of the things I wanted in this story is I wanted to come in on the middle of it. You know, what was it? There was some quote.
Kurt Vonnegut.
Kurt Vonnegut said,
start as close to the end as possible.
Start as close to the end as possible.
Yeah, I think you did that here.
Yeah, you know, because so much has already happened. You know, everybody is talking about
falling
this.
apart.
Yes,
yeah. They're basically 11-year-olds who are going to get trained for 6 years.
Right.
And then get shot out into space alone.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's basically,
that's what's happening. I mean, spoiler alert, we are going to find out the families of these originauts are going to be compensated.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like, big time.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just throw money at it, you know? I need something and
like, could they, like, I don't understand. And the question I would be asking now is why can't they be unmanned?
Right.
Why aren't there robots?
Well, I think one of the things that it does say is that if something goes wrong, you know, you need that human element of being able to figure it out.
Okay.
You know.
Right. In a human. And also, like, how can a robot make contact with an alien species?
Yeah. What good would that be?
What good is that?
Yeah, exactly.
If it happened.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, cool.
That answers that.
Yeah,
Let's just make sure that's in the script.
Yeah, you know. All right. Well,
definitely check out the Griselda series on Netflix.
Yes. I'm not sure if we're going to do another podcast before my birthday or not, but I'll let you know if I get any free McDonald's.
You won't, unless I buy it and give it to you and say
can
it's
you
free.
Can we do this like Santa Claus? Can you buy McDonald's
and then set
it down on
Why do
the
you
porch,
want McDonald's?
and I'm gonna find the McDonald's, and you're just like,
Why?
look, the free McDonald's came.
It's not food. Why do you want it?
I just want it because it's free. Okay?
Oh, you want it because it's free. Okay.
It's hard not to get romantic about movies. Thanks for listening to Married to Movies. Jon and Tracy will meet you for breakfast tomorrow.